everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I don't think I've ever done a video like this on my channel before. A lot of you probably know that I am a big fan of Waitress the Musical. I've been lucky enough to see it twice on Broadway and I am so excited for the day it eventually comes to the West End. Hello, this is editing Rukaya. It is now being confirmed that Waitress is coming to London early 2019. It's going to be at the Adelphi Theatre, so time to get pumped. Leave a comment below if you are so excited for it to come to London. Anyway, on with the Dreamcast. I thought it might be fun to share with you a Dreamcast that I have for the London production, because a few people have asked me who I think would make especially a good Jenna, and I pretty much have an idea in my head of who I'd want to play the main cast members, so I thought it'd be fun to share that with you and get your opinions as well. So I'm starting off with the biggest role in the show, Jenna, who is the waitress, one of the waitresses anyway, and I've got a few options for some of these characters. So when I first saw the show, I saw it with Betsy Wolfe playing Jenna. She was absolutely fantastic, and throughout the show her voice was really reminding me of someone, and I think it was in the interval where I was like, oh my god, she sounds really like Julie Atherton. And I thought, oh gosh, Julie Atherton would make a really good Jenna in terms of the real core emotion of it, and also she sounds very similar, in my opinion, to Betsy Wolfe. So I was like, okay, that's an instant link straight away. I feel like I tweeted that straight after seeing the show. And then later on, like when I obviously became obsessed with the cast recording and I was listening to it all the time, I feel like I suddenly had this like epiphany one day and I was like, oh my god, I want Rebecca Traherne to play Jenna. I am a big fan of Rebecca Traherne. I think she is an incredible actress and I feel like she would have the full package for it. She's got an amazing voice and a really different tone of voice, which I think would fit perfectly for Waitress. And then she's got like the comedy and the emotion, just everything. And now I'm like, I'm going to be heartbroken if there comes a day that Waitress is in the West End and Rebecca Traherne is not playing Jenna. I will be heartbroken. Then recently I've been talking to some colleagues at work about the show, and obviously like with Sarah Bareilles tweeting these like little hints and stuff, we've been chatting about it, and we were talking about the fact that because Waitress isn't like an established thing over here, like obviously people in the musical theatre industry know of the show, but outside of that, the general public don't really know it. So we were saying, oh, they'd probably have to cast a name in it to start off with, which I don't like. I hate saying that because I think as long as someone talented who can do the role properly and do it justice is in the show, that's what matters, but that doesn't necessarily always sell tickets, which is heartbreaking. So we were thinking of who would be a good name to put in the show and who would be like a British name, because I could see them bringing in someone American, and obviously that's fine if that's what they want to do, if that's what's the best thing for the show. But we then said, oh, Sheridan Smith might be a good name for it, like a good person for it. Obviously she's pretty well established in the musical theatre world, but she's done things outside of that as well. So in terms of the general public in Britain and the UK, she is a name. So obviously recently she's done shows like Funny Girl, she did Legally Blonde, and I just think she would actually be really good for it because she's got the voice, she brings that emotion, and she can also be really funny. So I feel like I would be really happy actually if they decided to choose a name for the show and Sheridan Smith was that name. I think I would really enjoy watching her. The next character I've put down is the role of Becky, who is one of Jenna's close friends, and again I've got 3 options for Becky. I think Becky is a great character. So the first person, when I was thinking of writing up this list, that I thought would be amazing for this character is Renee Lamb, who I think I've only seen her in Six the Musical when it was at the Arts Theatre earlier this year. I haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors yet, but I'm hoping to soon, and I just thought even just from Six, I was like, this girl is amazing, and so I think she'd be fantastic vocally for Becky and also in the comedy, which Becky has a lot of. So I think Renee would be a fantastic choice for it. Also, I think Danielle Steers, who is currently in Bat Out of Hell, again, for similar reasons, I've not really seen much of her being funny as such, but she has an incredible voice. So I think that would work perfectly. And then the third choice I have is, again, a bit more of a sort of name, not necessarily as such in the UK, but she is kind of at the head of Dreamgirls at the moment, and that's Marisha Wallace. I think she'd be really good for Becky as well, and that, I think she's a pretty big name in terms of Broadway people, I think. So someone's gonna kill me for saying that and being ignorant. I'm sorry, I don't know much about Marisha's past, but again, fantastic voice, fantastic actress, so I think that she'd do it really good as well. That didn't make sense. I think she'd do it really well. For the character of Dawn, I literally have one person, because from the first time I saw the show, I was like, I know 100% who I'd want to play Dawn in the West End, and that is Lizzie Connolly. I think she would be amazing as Dawn, and I honestly cannot think of anyone else that I would want to play her. Lizzie is a fantastic actress. She can be so funny. I've mostly seen her in comedy roles, so that's why immediately I was like, oh my god, she's perfect for Dawn. Spot on. And she's got a beautiful singing voice as well, and again, I would be really sad if it ends up not being her. I think it's really interesting that, in my head anyway, for some of the roles in Waitress, it's really easy to cast across other characters as well. So for Dr. Pomatter, I've thought of a few people that might be good for it, but then I've kind of stuck on this one person, and that is Oliver Thompson, who I think visually fits the look of Dr. Pomatter very well, and I think would also play it really well in terms of the sort of geeky, funny aspect of the character, and also the singing voice as well. I think he's got a really good mix of everything that a Dr. Pomatter needs. But also, I think in terms of the character crossover, the sort of Fiyero type look would be good for Dr. Pomatter, like the slightly geekier looking Fiyeros. I know there's not that many of them, but you know, visually they fit the same kind of character tropes. So yeah, Ollie Thompson is one of the first people that came to mind for the role of Dr. Pomatter. For the character of Oggy, which is Dawn's love interest, I've got two people who I would really love to see play it, and I'd be really happy if either of them got it. First of all is Sam Lupton, who I've mostly seen back in the day in Wicked when he played the role of Bok. Again, I think for the character of Oggy, that's another kind of easily transferable role, if that makes sense. I think Sam would do really well in the role of Oggy. And then another person I've got for the role of Oggy, I'm really torn because I think they'd both be amazing for it. The second person I've got is Dan Buckley, who is currently rehearsing to go into Eugenius again. That's happening at the Other Palace again in September, end of August, September. And I've said this to him. I was like, you would be perfect for this role. So when auditions come round, make sure you're seen for it. I just think he'd be so good. He's so funny. I think that's the main thing with Oggy. You just need to be like funny and very quick-witted funny, and both Sam and Dan can definitely do that. For the role of Earl, which is Jenna's husband, I've got two options. First one would be Simon Lipkin, because I think he really fits the visual of the character, and that sort of like rocky, a bit rough around the edges character, and also gorgeous singing voice. I feel like he'd be someone who could do really well in making an audience hate the character of Earl. That's how I felt anyway when I've seen it on Broadway. It's a horrible character, and I think you would need someone that's like really good playing it, that at the end of the show when it comes to the bows, you'd then also realise, oh no, they're just a normal human, they're just a really, really good actor. I see it and I hear it very easily with him playing the role, so I think that'd be a good pick. And then my second option would be Stuart Clarke, who I've seen in The Rink, most recently at the Southwark Playhouse. I've also seen him in various other shows such as Ghost. There's been loads of shows that I've seen him in now and I can't remember. He was also in Loserville. I think he was in Loserville with Dan way back when. But again, he's kind of similar, especially with his character in The Rink. I think that's when I thought it, because he had a beard and the other characters have been a bit more polished, but yeah, he had a beard, looked a bit kind of rougher and rockier, and I just thought, oh my god, you'd be a really, really good Earl. For the role of Cal, I thought it'd be really great to see Tim Protty-Jones playing this role, because again, he fits kind of the visual of what I expect the role of Cal to look like. But again, I can imagine him playing it really nicely in terms of being the sort of the stern boss manager of the diner, but also having like a really kind heart and caring still. And then for the role of Joe, who is the official owner of the diner, he's like he's old man Joe. I've literally just put in my notes, good for anyone who's played the wizard, really. Some of them more than others, but you know, the older wizards that have been in the show, I'm like, you can just go straight into Waitress as Joe, that'll be fine. So that's everything I've got for my dream casting of who I'd love to see playing the roles in Waitress when/if it comes to London. I would love to know who you would like to see in these roles. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you're excited for the possibility of Waitress coming to the UK. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of me in the future. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!